Again, breaking news that has come in recently. Fox News has now confirmed President Obama will name a White House budget official as acting IRS commissioner. His name is Daniel Werfel. He worked in the administration for years, dealt with budget issues. He will replace the outgoing IRS boss. Now, the president didn't directly answer a question today about when people at the White House knew about this IRS controversy. Remember what the question is. In fact, this is the exact question as read by Megan. Megan, thank you. This is the question from a Bloomberg reporter at the news conference a short time ago. Can you, Mr. President, assure the American people that nobody in the White House knew about the agency's actions before your counsel's office found out on April the 22nd? The agency, she was referring to the IRS. It was absolutely crystal clear. One more time. Can you assure the American people that nobody in the White House knew about the agency's actions before your counsel's office found out on April 22nd? Roll it.
Let me make sure that I answer a specific question. I can assure you that I certainly did not know anything about the IG report before the IG report had been leaked through press, through the press. Typically, the IG reports are not supposed to be widely distributed or shared. They tend to be a process that everybody's trying to protect the integrity of.
He said, let me make sure I answer your specific question, and then he went on to absolutely not answer the specific question. Why? Here was the question again. Can you assure the American people that nobody in this White House knew about the agency's actions before your counsel found out on April 22nd? The allegation is that the IRS was targeting conservative groups. The IRS has admitted as much, every bit of it. And the question is, did the White House know? Because the follow-up question, if the White House did know, did you direct any of it? That's the next question. So when the question was asked, can you assure the American people that nobody in the White House knew about the agency's actions before your counsel's office found out on April 22nd, he said?
Let me make sure that I answer a specific question. I can assure you that I certainly did not know anything about the IG report before the IG
that wasn't the question. Nobody said anything about the IG report. No, this wasn't about the Inspector General's report. This was a very simple question. Did anybody, not you, did anybody in the White House know that the IRS was targeting anybody, in this case conservative groups? That was the question. Then he said, let me specifically answer you the question, and then he specifically did not answer the question. Judge Napolitano is here, along with Mike Santoli as well. But Judge, as Megan pointed out in the last hour, this isn't a court of law. But if that question were asked in a courtroom and that answer were given,
the person who asked it would ask that the answer be struck because it wasn't responsive to the question. And a judge, not just me, any judge in any courtroom would say, answer the question. This is a Clinton-esque answer. This is an effort to answer a different question, knowing there couldn't be a follow-up, because this is not a courtroom, and they limited the questions at this presser, and hoping that this would go away.
It's not going away.
In fact, he's made it worse with this answer.
Mike, if the White House knew, we're in new territory.
If the White House knew about the activity, not just the details of the IG report.
Oh, see, that wasn't the question. The question was, did you know about the agency's activities?
Probably is a new territory. And I also think that this entire kind of mode of now we're figuring out, we're parsing exactly who knew what when, shows you why this thing is not going to be dispensed with the resignation of an interim IRS chief, right? So this is going to flower on from here. We have to have a full airing of exactly what happened.
Jay Carney got the same thing. Listen to what Jay Carney said, not today, before. Listen.
That nobody at the White House and nobody on the president's political team had any knowledge or was involved in any way in the targeting of Tea Party groups by the IRS?
Yes.
Absolutely not.
I mean, look, we found out about this.
See, now that was the answer Tuesday from Jay Carney, but today they asked Jay Carney's boss, the President of the United States, can you assure the American people that nobody in the White House knew about the agency's actions before your counsel's office found out on April the 22nd? Roll it.
Let me make sure that I answer a specific question. I can assure you that I certainly did not know anything about the IG report before the IG.
Okay, I think we've made the point now.
Yes.
If Jay Carney was right on Tuesday, and the answer is we didn't know, we need to hear that, because that's a big deal. And we need the answer from the man in charge of the nation to be responsive. That's only fair, because if they knew, The next question is, did you direct this? The question would be, are you orchestrating a campaign against political enemies from inside the White House?
In order to undo the effects of a Supreme Court decision that you have publicly condemned and that they have availed themselves of.
No one is suggesting that that's what happened. Because if the answer from the president is no, we didn't know, there is no follow-up question. It's over. That's it. Answered no, you didn't. We'll keep checking to make sure that's accurate. But that's the end of the questioning. And if the answer is yes, there's another question. So we need the first answer.
We need an environment in which somebody, like you just did, Shep, can follow up with questions rather than this one question and then we move on to another question in a foreign language to a foreign leader.
To me, this isn't about conservative groups being targeted. That's not what this is about. This is about the government going after a citizen wrongly.
Because of the citizen's speech, political speech, the highest protected speech we have.
That's all this is. Partisans want to make this about Republicans and Democrats and left and right. And that's not what this is. This is about the government and the people. The government can't do this. The Constitution says no. The Supreme Court ruling on Citizens United changed the country and not in a good way. But it's the law of the land.
And he has taken an oath to uphold the law of the land, whether he agrees with it or not.
There's a way of, obviously, if in fact it's an excess of care being taken by saying, who knows if anybody in the White House somewhere along the way picked up a stray thought about what was going on there. Well, if that's what's going on, then no big deal.
But Jay Carney was specific. Go on.
Sure. No. And if the IG report is the shorthand for, well, when all this stuff was gathered together and put in front of us in one place, that's when we knew the extent of it. On the other hand, there's a way to write this story that says you had this huge flood of one-time new wannabe tax-exempt organizations. We needed a shortcut to get at them. Nobody said that either, right? Everyone's saying the right thing. You cannot do this. You cannot target people, based on keywords or anything else.
The president's a very smart guy.
Yeah.
The president parsed his words because he doesn't want to be accused of lying. Now he's being accused of hiding the truth.
We've reached out to the White House for a clarification. We eagerly await that clarification, and the moment we get it, we will report it. Stay tuned.